Across the continent, another predator waits to pounce. Stephanie's friend Jeff also talks with her online for months before revealing something of his true identity. His real name, he confesses, is Tim. And there are a couple of other things.
Conversation, I was, Stephanie, I have to tell you something, this might affect our friendship, and, saying, oh, there can't be anything that'll, ruin it, or we're friends, we're perfect, stuff like that. And he told me that he was around 38, 39, and he was married with 2 children. And that was a big surprise, and for a couple of days after that, I didn't speak to him. It was a big shock.
But Stephanie can't give up her sour sweetheart. After a couple of days, she goes to him again online, and a few months later, begins to entertain the idea of meeting.
It was about 5 to 6 months when we finally decided, how about we meet, he'd come do the trip to Ottawa. I made reservations at a local motel, and I drew a map for him from the border all the way up to Ottawa. And I pointed out the motel for him. And I pointed out little things where I live and stuff like that. And I guess I shouldn't, because he now knows where I live.
Stephanie's mother knows her daughter wants to meet this internet pen pal, but she doesn't know his real age.
I was pretty good at hiding it, yeah.
The young fellow had basically, to me, had stayed the age of 18, but she kept telling me that he was going to come to Ottawa and she was going to meet him downtown and get in a car with him. And I kept telling her, you don't do that. You don't know this person. You don't get in a car with somebody you don't know. I said, meet in a restaurant.
Stephanie arranges to meet Tim for the first time on a Friday afternoon in November. She's booked a room for him in a motel just off the highway. In school, on the day before Tim's to arrive, Stephanie writes her best friend a note expressing excitement about the upcoming date and alluding to Tim's age. The friend's mother sees the note and calls Stephanie's mother.
I knew my mom knew because she had called me and he told me, and she was in tears, what's going on, as if he's 38, Stephanie, what have you done?
Without telling her daughter, Lorraine calls the police and then decides to go with Stephanie to meet the stranger.
I couldn't turn around and say, no, you're not going to meet him. Your curiosity would be there. I've been talking to this person for ages. Why can't I go meet them? So to satisfy her interest, it's like, okay, let's go meet him, but meet him on our terms, not your terms or his terms.
I was the only person in the high-tech crime unit at the time, so any calls that came in involving child exploitation at all and the internet involved me.
So, unbeknownst to Stephanie, the police also planned to be at the rendezvous. At 4 p.m. Friday afternoon, Lorraine and Stephanie drive to the motel and sit in the parking lot, waiting for Tim to arrive.
We went to the hotel. We parked in front of the hotel. He had previously told me what kind of car he was going to come with.
While Stephanie's predator has by now admitted he's not 18, she's expecting a good-looking 38-year-old.
I was 15, I think, if you think of actors that are 38, they look all handsome, and we saw him coming, and, oh my God, that's him, and the guy was kind of old, ratty looking.
Stephanie now realizes she is not in a romantic comedy.
It was kind of scary, so I'm like, okay, Mom, I want to go home now, I want to go home,
His red sports car was a red, rusty Nissan Sentra, and he had his little sex toys and everything in the back of the car when he arrived at the hotel.
The police don't arrest Tim, since Stephanie's more than 14, and it looks like the relationship is consensual. But they do take him in for questioning, and find out he's actually 43, and lives in Pennsylvania with his wife and 3 children. The oldest is Stephanie's age. Stephanie, too, goes to the police station for questioning. Police videotape the interview, as is their policy in abuse cases involving a child.
Sexual stuff, yeah.
Tell us about that, please.
It's called cyber sex.
Cybersex, okay. Our issue with her was that you may well have been dead. Had your friend not have told her mother, and had her mother not have told your mother, you may well have been in that motel room dead. Tell us what those imaginary sex acts, particular acts, would be. List them for me.
A lot of stuff. Foreplay, intercourse, the whole thing. At first, when we were going to the police station, I was thinking, this is all wrong. He wouldn't have done anything, And then, I guess it was after the whole interview and hearing myself saying of all the things that we've done together and listening to myself talking and, telling every detail. It was kind of stuff, what have you been doing for the past 5-6 months?